And when they write of these black men, they say, these are the new politicians. They are non-threatening. What does that mean? If I am threatening, for what? I don't shoot anybody. I haven't robbed anybody. I'm not planning to. But I'm threatening to those who have lied to you and deceived you, because Jesus said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So now, if the truth makes me threatening, and being courageous enough to tell it makes me threatening, what makes a black man non-threatening? Then if he's non-threatening, he don't belong to you. If he's non-threatening, he's their man, not your man. He looks like you, but he works for them. And that's a hell of a condition to be in. To have a man that you putting your hope in because he comes from your people. But he's not working for his people. There is not an Italian here, not a Greek here, not a Polish person, a Jewish person, an Irish person here who would vote for an Irish, an Italian, or a Jew to go anywhere if they didn't represent Jewish or Italian or Irish interests. You know that to be the fact. Why should we then settle for non-threatening politicians who rule and guide for others and do not stand for us when we are the majority who have elected them? Crossover politicians, they call them. You know what a crossover politician is? A crossover politician is like a crossover singer of songs. You know how it is. We start in the ghetto, where we always start. And we start in those honky-tonk joints where we always start. Nobody hears us there but our own people. They pay 75 cents for a beer, $1 for a beer, and we sing, and the people go out and say, man, did you hear Gladys McKnight or Gladys Knight and the Pips? They are something. And after 20 years on what they call the chitlin circuit, some white person comes in and says, wow. And just like they discovered America with a whole country full of Indians, just like they discovered Australia with the Aborigines there, they discovered Gladys Knight. They discovered Stevie Wonder. They discovered, and then when they discover us, that's when we're known. You see? Farrakhan has been speaking to black people for 36 going on 37 years. Now, I didn't get discovered. Until the great discoverer, the Christopher Columbus of black leadership, discovered me. I happened to be walking behind the Reverend Jackson, who had just a few years ago been discovered. The very word discovery and the way you use it is a racist kind of term. It is a great honor and privilege for me to be here tonight to celebrate with you your second annual African American Recognition ceremony. I listened with great joy to the students and the faculty advisor, and I also joined with them in congratulating all of those who received awards, and particularly to the graduating seniors who will be going out on life's road to pursue, hopefully, that which will not only be beneficial to you and your family, but be beneficial to our people as well. Illinois State University is a microcosm of the larger society. So whatever you find in the microcosm, you will find it in the larger society. When the students decided to bring Louis Farrakhan to this campus, they received a great deal of opposition. Because, of course, to some, I'm a bigot, an anti-Semite, a hater, and whatnot. To my people, I'm the exact opposite of that. And therein lies the problem. How could a man be looked at by one group as a lover and another group as a hater? By one group as a teacher of immense value, by another group as a demagogue, a bigot, and a hater? Is he really what your campus paper says he is? I'm glad that you had the courage to come out and hear me for yourself. To say that Farrakhan came here to this august house of learning to inspire you to hate is to belittle my intelligence and the intelligence of this audience. And if the professors at Illinois State University have done their job, then they need not fear a bigot, a racist, a hater, and an anti-Semite. For if you have done your job and you have educated these young people, then they will assign me to the rubbish heap to which haters, bigots, and anti-Semites belong. However, if you have failed in your duty and you have not properly educated your students, or you have purposely miseducated them, then of course I understand your fear. Because your fear is that when truth comes, falsehood vanishes, and falsehood is a vanishing thing. I was particularly struck as I read some of the articles in the campus paper characterizing who and what I am, and the great effort that you went through to educate the students on Louis Farrakhan. I'm sure that you should realize that I am the best teacher of who and what I am. And if you have nothing to fear, then let me represent myself and let them make the judgment as to who and what I am. My coming here, they say, is bad for group relations. What group? You act so hypocritically as though you all had good relations before I got here. While the converse is really the truth. You don't get along well at all. So why blame all of that on me? I'm not the one who founded this institution. And why make me the racist? As though I created the disease that afflicts this university, afflicts America and the world. I am a victim, as they are, of your racism. So many of today's whites don't understand the legacy of racism. Farrakhan is not oppressing you, and black folk don't have the power to oppress you, even should they want to. So racism has a power component involved in the equation. One not only dislikes another, but has the power to enforce his dislike. Not only have whites disliked us, but they had the power ever since our fathers were brought to these shores as slaves to enforce their dislike, their hatred of us. And that's why we're in the condition that we're in. We're not the racists. We have come to end racism once and for all. They said Farrakhan doesn't want to see black and white together. He's antithetical to the preaching of Dr. Martin Luther King, as though that makes me a vile, despicable person. He's for separation. Please. You must remember, we didn't come on the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, or the Mayflower. We had separate quarters on the ships that brought us here, and we still live in separate quarters today. So don't say that Farrakhan is a separatist. Who is a better separatist than you? Talk to me. You don't live with us. You don't worship with us. It's difficult to get you to socialize with us. So what are you talking about? We have never been integrated in this society, have we? So why put it on me? I'm the separatist. Who separated us in the first place? Well, there's a bigger power that separated us. We all had boundaries. But it is natural for people to to overcome the boundaries that separate people. And at first, we may not like each other because we're different from each other. But after a while, we should get to know one another and to respect one another, even if we don't love one another. But look at the situation. Many of our black students do not understand what has happened to us. And many white students do not understand what has happened to us. And therefore, when you look at black people in an inferior position and condition, not only in America, but in the world, you wonder, why is this? Are we really genetically inferior? Is it that white folk are the great achievers and black folk really are just the good singers and dancers and musicians and ball players? Well, how did that sister get a 4.0 average? Is she a freak of some kind? No, brother and sister. We achieve what we will to achieve. Now they are saying to the black students, you brought that bigot here, we're going to make you pay for it. This is an awful thing for the college to do. You give the black students $13,000 in their budget, a measly $13,000. I want to talk about racism tonight, and bigotry tonight, and anti-Semitism tonight. I want to talk about a living, vile hatred tonight. $13,000 they give to the black students. And then they told the black students, since you all got together and raised $10,000 for Farrakhan's honorarium, we're going to cut you next year $3,000, so next year you'll only get $10,000. We'll teach you niggers a thing or two. Now, is that fair? They bring a speaker of their choice. They pay funds to this institution, and their money is also in student activities fees, and you bring people that have no relevance to them and you pay them out of those same funds. Don't be dismayed, dear black students, that they give me a jive $10,000 honorarium. Don't be dismayed. Mr. Reagan gets $50,000 to do this. Mr. Donaldson of ABC gets $25,000. Fawn Hall, the young lady that only claim to fame is that she shredded documents, gets $15,000 per appearance. But of course, they're worth it because they're white. They're popular. Come on, talk to me. And every time they get a voice, that voice is stilled by the powers that be, because they fear a voice that they don't control, that black people are listening to. Today, every black leader that we have is being manipulated. So that today we have a beautiful mayor in New York, Mayor Dinkins, and a governor in Virginia, Governor Wilder, and a mayor in Seattle, and a new mayor in Cleveland, and a new mayor in Hartford, and we applaud. And when they write of these black men, they say, these are the new politicians. They are non-threatening. What does that mean? If I am threatening, for what? I don't shoot anybody. I haven't robbed anybody. I'm not planning to. But I'm threatening to those who have lied to you and deceived you, because Jesus said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So now, if the truth makes me threatening, and being courageous enough to tell it makes me threatening, what makes a black man non-threatening? Then if he's non-threatening, he don't belong to you. If he's non-threatening, he's their man, not your man. He looks like you, but he works for them. And that's a hell of a condition to be in. To have a man that you putting your hope in because he comes from your people. But he's not working for his people. There is not an Italian here, not a Greek here, not a Polish person, a Jewish person, an Irish person here who would vote for an Irish, an Italian, or a Jew to go anywhere if they didn't represent Jewish or Italian or Irish interests. You know that to be the fact. Why should we then settle for non-threatening politicians who rule and guide for others and do not stand for us when we are the majority who have elected them? Crossover politicians, they call them. You know what a crossover politician is? A crossover politician is like a crossover singer of songs. You know how it is. We start in the ghetto, where we always start. And we start in those honky-tonk joints where we always start. Nobody hears us there but our own people. They pay 75 cents for a beer, $1 for a beer, and we sing, and the people go out and say, man, did you hear Gladys McKnight or Gladys Knight and the Pips? They are something. And after 20 years on what they call the chitlin circuit, some white person comes in and says, wow. And just like they discovered America with a whole country full of Indians, just like they discovered Australia with the Aborigines there, they discovered Gladys Knight. They discovered Stevie Wonder. They discovered, and then when they discover us, that's when we're known. You see? Farrakhan has been speaking to black people for 36 going on 37 years. Now, I didn't get discovered. until the great discoverer, the Christopher Columbus of black leadership, discovered me. I happened to be walking behind the Reverend Jackson, who had just a few years ago been discovered. The very word discovery and the way you use it is a racist kind of term. You're not interested in black people, but when we can make $1 for you, you become interested. When we can move you along, further your aims, your ambitions, your goals, you become interested in black people. But until then, you have no interest in us whatsoever. How dare you say that I'm bad for black-Jewish relations? What black people do you relate to? You don't relate to the black people on 43rd Street in Chicago, 63rd Street on the west side. We don't see a Jew. We don't know what you look like. So what kind of relationship am I messing up for you? You hypocrites. If you set up a black organization, somebody white knocking at the door, let me in. And if you don't let me in, you know, that's a racist group you're in. How many of you belong to Hillel? Ain't no black people belong to that, do you? Why not? Why not? You're not interested in that. You mean to tell me black people cannot have a black organization that speaks to black concerns without white folk in it? That's racism? Please. Yes, you're all practicing reverse racism. No, the problem is you are so frightened to see black people get together. You think we're always conspiring against you. So when we get together, you got to come and try to join us. That's not my subject. I didn't come here to say that. But I just wanted to ventilate some of these things that are on my heart for these hypocrites that write in the newspaper about Farrakhan. You don't know me. You don't know me well enough. Some of you have never heard me, never had a chance to question me. But I'm here tonight, thanks to these students. So I'm going to hurry through our subject matter. But if you will listen to me, and this is not an anti-white tirade or somebody that's against white people or against Jewish people or against Arabs or Chinese or blacks. That's not the purpose at all. The purpose for truth is not to condemn color, but to condemn wrong. When wrong is condemned by the presence of truth, the wrongdoer in the light of truth has his or her actions or thoughts illuminated for them by the presence of truth. This is mercy from God because it allows us to correct our actions. If our actions go uncorrected, they bring in their wake consequences that may not be good for the actor. Great nations like this one have gone to ruin because people were hateful of truth. They despised that which corrected them. What makes one despise correction? It is arrogance. Arrogance is a state of mind that blinds us to truth. For we begin to feel that we are better than, bigger than, above criticism. How dare you tell me that I'm wrong? Do you know who I am? Truth, frankly, doesn't give a damn. Truth doesn't care who you are. Truth doesn't care what your position is. President is not above truth. Pope is not above truth. Prophet is not above truth. King is not above truth. Truth is the root of the universe. The universe may pass away, but the truth shall remain. So truth is what our lives are given to serve. It is truth that evolves us. It is truth that nurtures us. It is truth that makes us come into the path of God and makes us reflect the Creator. Truth. Falsehood created nothing. Falsehood can never be sustained. So you are at this university paying tens of thousands of dollars, your parents are, for you young students, white and black and Jew and Gentile, to get the truth that you may make a better life for yourself and a better world in which you and we can live. The problem is arrogance blinds us to truth. Look, there is no discipline that you are studying where the person who wrote the book has a knowledge of that discipline that is absolute. God didn't write the textbook. So if Freud wrote it, it has a lot to be desired. Socrates was brilliant, but he wasn't God. So if you read Socrates, if you read Plato, if you read Tillich, whoever you read, if you read Dewey, if you read Machiavelli, whoever you read, not God. So what you are reading is a person who has studied what the Creator created and drew from the creation his perception of the truth.
Hello guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Karen. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. If you are new here, kindly consider subscribing. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming to watch my videos. So guys, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe, share if you can. So today we are talking about one Mr. Louis Farrakhan. This man always talked facts. He has always said facts, you know. A lot of people condemn him just because he stands for the black people and he defends them. He says things the way they are. He condemns the dark side, you know, the things that don't favor everyone. It doesn't favor equality, the things that discriminate, segregate. He condemns all that. And that's why a lot of people say that he's not being fair and all that. Just because he stands for the truth, he speaks the truth, and he stands for the black people in general. So Dr. Louis Farrakhan has always talked about the history of white supremacy. He always says that systems of white supremacy have shaped slavery, segregation, you know, discrimination, and also colonialism. He has always talked about that. In all of his speeches, whenever you listen to him, he always touches on that, you know, because he believes that there is a change and a change must happen between us. You know, when we stand together, when we hold our hands together, a change must take place. And that will be the start of fairness, equality, you know, and no discrimination at all. So, he has generally talked about systemic inequality. We have institutions that actually produce unequal outcomes for black people, especially when they talk about, you know, when they say that black people are different or when they treat black people differently in certain institutions, you know, that is inequality. When you have those people or those institutions that say that black is, you know, is not good or is different and all that shenanigans, that is inequality big time. And that will never stop if we don't stand as black people. And also if we don't have the white people to support us or stand with us in a way that they condemn all that unfairness and inequality. And we also have the media inequality. He has always criticized the media for showing what is not true. He criticizes the media for showing or portraying some things that are not true about black people or the black communities. And one surprising thing, these speeches are very old, but when you follow up, even at this moment, there are those media that still sell the same negative information about black people, spread negativity about black people, but some, very few, have improved, which actually is something that we applaud or we would support as black people. We cannot, you know, we cannot support any biased media because that is the start of our problems. That is how fast negative information can spread in the media. And one good thing about Mr. Louis Farrakhan, he keeps or insists on unity and empowerment. The black community should unite and empower each other, especially when we talk about that. And he keeps preaching about self-respect, black unity, you know, and economic cooperation, in that black people are able to support each other, to stand with each other, you know. We are able to develop ourselves, in that we can be able to stand as a black community. You know, when we are weak, that is the moment you realize that we are not together, but together we are very powerful and strong. And he has always talked about black self-reliance. When we black people can stand by ourselves, can rely on ourselves, that is the start of our success. In that, black people should have or build their own businesses and schools and institutions without relying on others. And generally, this would go a long way in developing our community as black people. This would go a long way in supporting our black people, because when we talk about things like racism, you know, there are those businesses or institutions that can still not treat black people the same as other people up to this date. You know, some things don't change, because when you are racist and you raise a racist, that is a start of like a generational thing that will never stop. unless we make a change as ourselves, then it will make a difference. But when we keep raising kids, or educating people about racism and telling them that black is bad or black is not good, black is different and all that, that will not end. The thing is, let's stand as black communities, support each other, develop ourselves economically, physically, everything. Because the moment we are strong or we are able to do things on our own, that is when they'll realize that, we have the power to be ourselves. We have the power to stand as ourselves. And they will stop discriminating and see the positive side of everything, because, they will need the black communities a lot in a lot of things. Even right now, black people there are jobs that black people can only do, and that is something that you can never run from. And these people will need those black people to work for them, or they will need those black people to stand or be on those big positions. And that is when you realize that as as black, white or yellow, we are all the same. The blood that runs within us is the same. It's just the color, and that doesn't make any difference at all. So guys, let me know what you think about Mr. Louis Farrakhan. Let me know in the comment section, and please like the video, subscribe, and thank you for watching up to this point.